became pretty jaded at the idea of religion. I worked with several people who claimed to be Christians, and they would do their best job to tell you what you needed to do, but the way they lived their life just spoke a whole different story to me.
We were married about 2 years. I got pregnant with Isaiah.
We bought a house when we got married. I was working in the telecommunications industry. This job was the first job that I had in Julie and I's relationship to where I was actually starting to come close to what she was making. You know, she was the breadwinner at the time. Isaiah was born and Julie was still home on maternity leave with him when I was let go.
I'll never forget when he walked in the house and just in tears. And I'm sitting on the couch like, what happened?
I remember coming home just in tears, and I'm thinking, how I have a brand new baby. I was a mess, both physically and mentally.
Very difficult. We just bought a house.
It was several months before I started working.
Jonathan was at a job where he was basically on call 24 hours a day.
The paychecks were just, not, we were not making it from paycheck to paycheck anymore.
Our mortgage was getting higher and higher.
We had childcare expenses and, the mortgage, and there was all this stuff that was just piling up and piling up.
We had gotten pregnant and lost a baby.
And I'm shouldering all of this and trying to keep going forward.
It was too much for us to handle.
Waking up in the morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, first thing on my mind was money. How am I gonna pay this? Work, and then going to sleep thinking about the same thing. So it was a never-ending thing. I was just so tired and broken down.
When I got pregnant with Mackenzie, they thought she had some form of a deformity or possibly Down syndrome. I prayed every night that she'd come out okay. And I got the call when I was at work. When I finally found out that she was gonna be okay.
They foreclosed on our home. Once that happened, our second mortgage was hanging in there, so they decided they were gonna sue us.
He suffered from depression and anxiety.
Just ended up on high blood pressure medication, anti-anxiety medication, antidepressant medication, and just feeling like I was just spinning out of control.
Ended up walking away from our house in California. It was time for us to leave California and start a new life somewhere else.
We moved to Texas. I was just submerged in this community that was just churches on every corner. People, everybody's going to church. You can't get away from it.
Because of his anxiety, and I thought, that we need to start going to church. I really think it could help you, and it wasn't, he was not interested at that time.
I had a really, really rough time in transition when I got here because in California, it was kind of, you don't talk about religion at work. That was, you don't do it. You can get in trouble. That was kind of the thing, you keep your beliefs to yourself. And then you get here and everybody is praising God and rebuking this and, thank you, Jesus. And it rubbed me raw kind of, because it was just so different to me and I didn't understand it. There was one lady who I probably credit a lot of my conversion to, Kathy. She was a coordinator in our company. I spent every day with her. She ended up getting cancer. Just praised God all the way up till she died. And to me, that was just such an incredible thing for me to see, is that someone's faced with such a terrible disease, yet she stood so strong in her faith. And I remember she sent a text to me, and it was in the middle of her fight, and she said, I talked to God last night, he said I'm gonna be okay. And I was like, what does that mean? How did you talk to God? That didn't make sense. I didn't understand it up until her last breath. Was praising God and praising Jesus. And I said, well, if someone could face something that ugly and just hold on to her faith and praise and glorify God the whole way down, it's just, there's something there. Then I started playing semi-professional football. I met a guy on the team. I was chatting with him on Facebook one day, and he mentioned to me, oh, I'm having a Bible study tonight. He said, yeah, I go to a really cool church, you should come. And that was it. Thinking, maybe I should, This guy, he's a friend of mine, he's my age. He's tattooed like me, if they could let him in, I'm sure I could sneak through the door. So I mentioned it to Julie. I said, oh, I'm gonna go to church tomorrow. I'm gonna take the kids.
He told me Saturday night he was gonna go visit a church, and I had to work. I was still in retail at the time, and so I'm like, what do you mean? You're going to church? When did this happen?
I showed up that Sunday, and I'm just being hugged and loved by people I don't know. And to me, this is incredible.
I was upset because I couldn't go, but he called me after he went and said, I think this is it, we're gonna go.
Ever since that minute, we've just been rolling with this church.
And we were baptized a year and a half ago, so we love it.
I feel like I finally got a true look in to what Christianity and being a Christian was about. I describe Julie as a very caring, loving, and patient person. I mean, just the stuff that she's dealt with from me alone just shows the patience and understanding that she has. She's a great mother, an incredible mother. A lot of times I feel bad because she'll sometimes feel like she's not doing a good job, and I just wish there was a way to make her step out of herself to see what she does for our kids, and for our family, and she's an incredible woman. I'm truly blessed and to have such a patient person in my life, and someone that loves me as much as she does with, unconditionally.
That Jonathan now is an example of Christ's love. A great father, and somebody definitely that I even look up to for inspiration.
See so many people in our age groups that are getting divorced or falling away, and you just look and we're going the opposite way. We're becoming a more tight-knit family, and I truly believe that is through what we're learning about, Christ's love, about church, about community.